Welcome back to the Stone Zone. I'm Roger Stone. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. The cover-up of Bridgegate continues. Now, top Christie aides refuse to cooperate with an FBI investigation and refuse to turn over subpoenaed documents. Thus, the air will never be cleared and we'll never know exactly what Chris Christie knew and when he knew it. Beyond questions about his veracity, Bridgegate suggests that Chris Christie has some qualities I don't think voters want in their president. Christie looks like a petty, mean-spirited, vindictive bully. Officials in both parties say he exacts revenge for even the mildest criticism. Christie's appetite for retribution is legendary in New Jersey political circles. Americans seek a sense of decency, serenity, balance, equilibrium, and stability in their presidents. This was Ronald Reagan's greatest strength. He was affable, decent, slow to anger, and never regarded his political adversaries with hate. John F. Kennedy was also famously magnanimous to his political opponents, slow to anger, and unfailingly easygoing. The American people don't want an angry, emotional hothead as their president. So when it comes to running for president, Chris Christie is toast. Hello, and welcome to the Stone Zone. I'm Roger Stone. Why would President Barack Obama lie about marijuana? Only days ago, the president said that marijuana is less harmful than alcohol. In this, of course, Obama is right. But when asked why his administration didn't change the classification of marijuana from a Class 1 drug, where it's currently ranked with cocaine and heroin, to a less serious classification, Obama said, it's up to Congress. No, it isn't. It's an administrative decision. Obama can make this change with the stroke of a pen, but he doesn't. I guess keeping our doctors is not the only thing President Obama has lied about. Thanks for joining us here at the Stone Zone. Don't go away. When we come right back, I'll have some style news that you won't want to miss. And if you like this shirt, you are stoned. Welcome back to the Stone Zone. Singer Pharrell Williams has won 4 huge awards this year. He got 3 Grammys for Best Album, Best Song, and Best Pop Duo. He was also named as one of the best dressed men alive in the 7th annual Stone Zone Best and Worst Dressed list for 2013. The New Year's Day release of this list is a tradition we picked up from the late Mr. Blackwell, a Hollywood columnist and designer who would rate the clothes of the demi-monde. Pharrell made our list in 2013. I even like his hat, which was designed by Vivienne Westwood. But then, Pharrell showed up at the Academy Awards in a dinner jacket, gleaming white shirt, proper bow tie, and shorts. No. Pharrell, you're on probation for 2014. Thanks for joining us at the Stone Zone. In the 1980s, I became friendly with Randy Potes, an easygoing Californian who was better known as male porno actor Kal Jammer. Kal would star in over 300 adult films. His work in Anal Intruder 4 is legendary. Sadly, Kal would die at age 34. His name was, of course, a double entendre joke, Kal Jammer. On this basis, CNN's Jake Tapper has a great future ahead of him as a porno star. Stay tuned for more on the Stone Zone. Howdy, welcome back to the Stone Zone. In November, my book, The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ, was published by Skyhorse. It zoomed to the top of the New York Times bestseller list. In the book, I use motive, means, and opportunity, as well as fingerprint and eyewitness testimony to link a longtime hitman for LBJ to the murder of John Kennedy. Lyndon Johnson had unique and urgent motive in the murder of JFK. LBJ knew he faced political ruin and annihilation at the hands of Attorney General Robert Kennedy, who had leaked evidence of bribery and corruption by LBJ to Life magazine, which planned an expose in its cover story of December 1st, 1963. LBJ also knew that powerful syndicated columnist Drew Pearson had written a column that would have appeared in 700 newspapers on November 24th, exposing LBJ's taking of a $10,000 bribe to fix a defense contract for a Texas company, General Dynamics. JFK had already told his personal secretary, Evelyn Lincoln, that LBJ would be dumped from the 1964 ticket. So Johnson was facing not only political humiliation and federal prosecution, but also prison. LBJ was the linchpin of a plot that included the CIA and their associates in organized crime, with whom they had plotted the assassination of Fidel Castro. Military intelligence was involved, and Big Texas Oil, furious about JFK's efforts to repeal their sweetheart tax breaks, the oil depletion allowance, financed the coup d'etat. In September, the paperback edition of The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ, will be released with 2 stunning new chapters, outlining how LBJ approved an attack on the USS Liberty as a pretext for war in the Middle East, and how LBJ stole more than $6 million worth of gold from the United States government. Stay tuned for the updated edition of The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ. And thanks for stopping by at the Stonezone. The great Soviet army is poised to sweep into eastern Ukraine and annex Crimea as part of Russia. President Barack Obama has warned Russian President Vladimir Putin of the grave consequences. The Russian leader doesn't seem to be quaking in his fur-lined boots. Obama showed Putin his mettle, or lack thereof, when Syria's Assad crossed Obama's red line by using weapons on his own people, and Obama did nothing. A new arms agreement between Obama and Putin required U.S. concessions, but none by the Russians. Putin has Obama's number. We could say that this fight is entirely about democracy, but that would be false. Ukrainian President Yanukovych was elected in a fair democratic election, but when he made policy decisions that many in the Ukraine disagreed with, he was driven from office by an unruly mob instead of being defeated in the next election. This is democracy? Now Obama has imposed economic sanctions on a small handful of Russian leaders, most of whom have no assets or business in the United States anyway. So Obama won't let the Russians visit Disney World. Boy, that'll teach them. Welcome back to the Stonezone. The bipartisan Senate report on the investigation into the attack on the U.S. mission in Benghazi exposes former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton for putting appearances and political optics before security and the lives of 4 Americans. This stunning report reveals that U.S. intelligence was well aware of the rising terrorist activity and presence in northeast Libya. Despite 20 incidents at our mission just prior to September 11, 2012, repeated requests by our ambassador for additional security were not ignored, they were denied. The nearby CIA annex was fortified with additional security, and they repelled a terrorist attack that very same night. This report also makes clear that the attack on our mission was not in reaction to some anti-Islamic video. That, in fact, is a lie fabricated at Hillary Clinton's State Department to hide the fact that an al-Qaeda-affiliated group had hit U.S. interests and killed Americans only weeks before the 2012 presidential election. In that sense, it's a much bigger cover-up than Watergate. Hillary lied, and people died. Thanks for coming to the Stonezone.